So it's nearly Christmas and I thought I would film a really beautiful kind of rusty sparkly smoky eye for you. I did this on my Instagram channel a week or so ago with the new NARS Wanted palette and got a few requests to film a proper tutorial. This is one of my favourite smoky eye colour combinations ever, so stay tuned and I'll show you how I created it. Right, so I'm going to begin this smoky eye with a layer of cream. So your cream texture can be absolutely anything. It can be like a cream paint pot, it can be a cream shadow stick, or you can use a kohl liner. So this particular eye look, I'm going to use Mambo, which is a velvet eyeliner, and it's one of our most kind of old and iconic formulas and colours. It's a really kind of deep, rich red brown. As you can see, I use mine constantly, hence why it is literally like a stump. And I'm going to first begin this smoky eye by just tracing the Mambo really, really close to the lash line. And then I'm going to kind of go up just on that upper waterline. Take the pencil right underneath that as well. And then I'm going to sketch the shape of the smoky eye out. So this is really fun. Just going to kind of take it all over the eye, right up into the socket. Now you don't need to be really neat, you can just kind of be really painterly and just kind of scribble the shape in. And then I'm going to go underneath the eye in the same kind of way with the Mambo again. So get a rough kind of shape, or the rough shape that you want the eye to be. You all know that I love my eyes to look a little bit kind of elevated and winged, so I'm just going to kind of point the pencil out and upwards. And then I'm just going to do the same on the other eye. So just draw really, really close to the lash line. The great thing about this formula is that it's really easy to use, very, very soft. It glides on like butter and isn't hard to work with at all. So I know that I'm going to be able to move this in a moment when I come to blend it. But I also know that I can kind of sketch it out really easily and it's not going to kind of drag or pull the eye, which is great. So just do that little bit under there. This one looks a little bit more scribbly than the right one. And then just taking it up and winging it just at the edge there as well. So that's the base for my eyeshadow. Now, as I said, you can use anything that you want. I particularly like Mambo for this because I feel that the rich red brown is really going to complement that kind of rusty colour in the NARS palette. And then I'm going to take two brushes. I have the 44 Precision Contour brush and then a 42 blending brush as well. So any kind of brushes. I'm actually going to use my vintage NARS. Bit naughty, but I do love this. But the 42 blending brush or something equivalent is great. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of like neaten the edges of that shape. So I always think this brush is the best brush to go in with first because it's a little bit more dense. So if you can see, I'm just kind of blending it just around the edge of that eye pencil. Just really, really nice and kind of easily up into the socket. And then I'm going to do the same on the bottom. So just take the brush and just kind of soften it. Bring it down a little bit as well, because the whole idea of this eye is that it's meant to look smoky. So smoky means diffused, if you think about how smoke looks. So make sure it's kind of nice and kind of thick underneath, because otherwise if you've got kind of a tight line, it's not going to look smoky, it's just going to look like you've tight lined your eyes. So make sure you really commit to kind of a nice thickness underneath there. And then rather than get a brush, I'm just going to take my fingers and just kind of mould that into shape a little bit more. And then we'll move on to the second eye. Now I'm just going to go in with a clean blending brush and just kind of soften that edge again. And then before we apply any colour at all, the secret weapon for a smoky eye, for a good smoky eye, is always loose powder. So applying loose powder between layers of a smoky eye will just help you really get a nice kind of smooth blend. And it's also a really great way just to kind of correct any hard lines or any mistakes. It just gives a really kind of diffuse look to the eye. Now you literally just want to apply a tiny bit, you don't want to over powder it, so just a little bit, just to kind of take the edge off. That kohl pencil underneath is fine. If you over powder, the colour that you put on top won't actually stick, so just make sure you don't use too much, just a really loose kind of dusting. I always kind of take it from the lid rather than the actual powder pot itself, and just kind of dust it around and then just underneath. So that's the eye prepped, that's looking really smoky already. The next colour we're going to go in, well, the first colour we're going to go in with is Temptress. So it's this really beautiful red rusty shade. I said this in my earlier video, but I think this is actually my favourite shade from the palette completely. Probably because my eyes are green, and I've been wearing this colour for years. I used to wear a Rimmel one back when I was a teenager, and I think when I heard it was being discontinued, I kind of panic bought about 50 from eBay, and I went off it after that. So yeah, I didn't end up using it again, but I do love these colours. They suit every single eye colour, to be honest, these kind of rusty red colours, but especially if you've got green or blue eyes and you want a colour that's really going to make them stand out, then you can see how much that kind of really accentuates the green colour in my eyes, and it'll do the same for yours. It'll make brown eyes look a lot richer and a lot deeper too. So I'm literally kind of using a 44 brush like that, and I'm kind of packing it into the eye. So just kind of pack, and then just kind of giving it a bit of a wiggle just in the socket. And then we're going to use this underneath as well, so just taking it all the way right underneath. So I've kind of got this beautiful kind of rusty red cloud starting to appear around my eye. So at this stage, you don't need to be super neat with that colour either, because again, we're going to go in with a little bit of our loose powder. The one I'm using, by the way, is Eden in the soft velvet loose powder, and just any kind of edges that are a little bit kind of jagged or a bit weird, then just kind of go in with a blending brush just and a little bit of loose powder, and just keep softening the layers of colour with your loose powder. And by doing that, as I've said, you'll just really kind of smooth out the placement and really kind of smooth out and melt any of those harsh lines. And then what I'm going to do is just to darken it a little bit, is we're going to go in with Coconut Grove. Now, all of the colours in the palette are limited edition, but Coconut Grove is actually one that is already in the range. It's kind of one of those forever colours. We use it a lot at NARS, this colour, and it's just a really great kind of colour just to really kind of accentuate and deepen any eye look. You can use it as an eyeliner, And all I'm doing is I'm just kind of dotting it just on the outer part of my eyelid. I'm not taking it right up to the socket. I'm kind of stopping when I reach the socket line. And again, when I get to the socket line, I'm going to go back in with some loose powder on my blending brush, and I'm just going to buff that and soften it away again. So that's looking quite sultry and intense now. I want to just go back in with a little bit of Temptress just to kind of bring the reddy tones in again. So now I've kind of powdered over the top of all of that again with some loose powder. I'm then just going to keep layering that Temptress just on top, just kind of in the middle. Again, I'm just using the same brush. I'm using the 44 Precision Contour brush and just really kind of packing the colour on. You know, smoky eyes, I've always said this, but you know, they just need to be well blended. You know, you need to have depth and intensity, and using this technique of layering the colour and then kind of burying it under loose powder and then layering it again is a really, really great technique to ensure you achieve that. So that's kind of the base colour to the smoky eye. I want to just kind of lighten up just a little bit just here. So I'm going to use two colours for that. We're going to go in with Biarritz, which is like this lovely creamy colour. I forgot actually, Biarritz is actually in the range permanently. It's kind of a bit of a NARS Forever colour like Coconut Grove. So I'm just going to take that under the brow bone. I don't do this that often, but since I've got this palette, I've started using this colour just to kind of highlight under there. So just a really, really light amount of that. And then we're going to go in with that colour there, so Seven Heaven, again one of my favourites. I've just been using this as like an everyday shade, just all over the lid. And we're just going to use that just around the edge of that kind of smoky eye, just to soften again, just kind of a bit of a transitional shade to the brow bone. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. That's kind of the intensity and the depth that I want. The beauty about doing a smoky eye this way is you can kind of really dictate whatever intensity and kind of depth that you want with this eye. Just kind of either don't use as many layers, or just kind of when you build in the layers, just build them a lot lightly and use a more gentle touch than what I have. What we're going to do now is add some sparkle, because it is Christmas after all, and the colour that I'm going to use for this sparkle is we're going to use some Mendoza, which is that one there, and I might use a little bit of this as well, just kind of mixed in with it. The way I've been using these is just using my finger just like this. They're very, very intense and metallic. They give almost a bit of a wet feel to the eye, so they just work really, really well with your fingers. Oh. Every time I put this on, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm literally in makeup heaven. It is so gorgeous. The camera does not do this justice. When you get this palette for yourself, you'll really, really see how incredible these are. And it's just literally the perfect makeup for the holiday season, or you know, if you're going out on a night out and you want something that's just going to kind of catch those disco ball lights on the dance floor, then this will definitely do it. So just going to tap that just on the inner corner, and then I think actually I'm not going to use that one. Let's go for a little bit of this just on the inner corner there. I've said it before, but because my eyes are quite deep set, I like to really make this light inner corner of the eye quite bright. So even if I'm doing a smoky eye, just adding a little bit of something a bit lighter here just makes me feel a lot better when I'm wearing this look. And this does not disappoint. Look at that. It's so, I've got no words right now. So apply these with your finger. You get less fallout when you apply them with your finger, and the warmth and the kind of oil that's on your finger naturally just really kind of helps these sink and kind of melt into the lid. Now, before we tidy it all up, just some finishing touches. My NARS Kohl liner, you've seen me use this a lot on this channel. It's just a very, very soft black kohl liner, and I'm going to use that on the inner waterline just to really pop the eye. And I've been a bit lazy today. I didn't take my mascara off for the filming because I thought, you know what, I'm doing a smoky eye anyway. It doesn't really make a difference because I'm just going to add more, and that's precisely what I'm going to do now. Just taking some Audacious mascara and just kind of like coating the lash, both sides. I am going to put a lash on today, yes I am, because it's Christmas and I'll definitely be wearing some lashes over the holiday season, so bottom lashes as well, very, very important. When you're doing a smoky eye, don't forget those bottom lashes. And then the lashes that I'm going to use with this look are actually the number 4 lash. Now in the UK you can only get these at the NARS boutique. I think you can buy them online as well. I'll have to double check that for you all, but I'm going to use these. And what I usually do with lashes, if I ever wear them, is I only put them just on the outer edge of my eye. I just feel that sometimes a strip all the way along my eye is just a bit too much. So what I'll probably do is just kind of cut these just down the middle there and just kind of use the edges just for a little added flutter. And then I'm still waiting for that glue to dry from the eyelashes, but I'm going to go in with some concealer just to kind of brighten the under eye area, get rid of any fallout. I'm using my trusty Soft Matte Complete Concealer palette, just on a brush, just to really kind of brighten the under eye area. I love this moment, I don't know about you, but when you put your concealer on after you've just done a banging smoky eye, and it's amazing just how much more it pops. Look at that. And I've already done my cheeks just with some Orgasm blusher, and I've used some Copacabana illuminator. I am just going to pop a little bit more Orgasm on though. I think that I could probably do it with a tiny bit more. I really like, I think with this eye, either a pink or a kind of nude peachy cheek. I think both would look amazing. I've gone kind of a bit more pink just because I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling that at the minute. And the lip I'm going to do is a bit of a kind of peachy kind of nude lip, and I'm going to use Morocco lip liner. I'm living for this lip liner at the minute. It's kind of being resurrected, and got something on there actually from a previous video, just take that off. And I'm going to use one of my favourite lipsticks this year, which is Priadka Audacious lipstick. So this kind of lovely peachy shade that I was talking about. I really like to overdraw my lips. I know you're probably not a stranger to that fact at the moment, but I do just, you know, kind of like to give my lips a little bit of extra fullness. So it's quite full though, even for me, but you know what, we'll go with it. So that's Priadka and Morocco, and then we're going to go in with a little bit of Striptease lip gloss. So I'm all for a glossy lip at the minute as well. Another one, colours I've been wearing recently, I've been wearing a lot of the Velvet Lip Glides just because it gives that glossier finish. And then these lip glosses, this one and Turkish Delight at the moment are my faves. So look at that, it's just like a really gorgeous kind of peachy nude lip, and then when you add the Striptease on top, this gives it like this amazing kind of extra dimension. Love it. So there we have it, that's my smoky eye look with the NARS Wanted palette. I'll definitely be rocking this look over Christmas and New Year. The great thing about this eye look is, you know, it really is about quite a simple technique. You know, you only need a couple of brushes, and you can really work at kind of varying the intensity of the colours. You can use whatever colours you want, just to really kind of tailor it and make it bespoke for you. It suits every single eye shape as well. So have a look at the video, practice the techniques that I've given you, and yeah, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful Christmas and a great new year, and I'll see you when I return in 2018. Bye!